Alright, we are recording, continuing Titan Quest 2, but we're gonna start a new character, because I already made this one, have been experimenting with that. So yeah, as I said last week, since it's a new year, I figured, alright, why not also new characters so we can try the Forge Mastery. I was putting off doing that though until I could spend some time with a new character on the Forge Mastery. I actually had time this week. It's so nice. With the holidays, I was able to focus enough time, get one project that literally taken me a month to do, get that done, and yeah. It's a new character. So I have, basically, yeah, I've spent some time, what the hell, why not? Start with, no, bow. I like having range to start. And yeah, let's just go. Oh, I'm gonna name him actually Stream 2. Alright. Let's get to it. I'm gonna skip the opening cinematics though. Not much in the news talk about except GOG is now no longer owned by CD Projekt Red. One of the co-founders has purchased it.
And the mortal, watched by the gods.
Which, it's one of those things where I completely understand and do kind of agree with that. Seeing something get a new owner can be a bad sign of things changing, but it's one of the co-founders, so somebody who, you know, helped give it the very philosophy and such that the company has, so hopefully we won't have need to be concerned. Technically I shouldn't do that, but I put the same use the same ability, primary attack ability on both, but because that way, like, one can be spec'd for ranged, one can be spec'd for melee. I get that, but it's not going to be as big a deal as you may think. We'll get to that. And it's also just easier to not have to worry about splitting points between them. Yeah. Anyway, coming back to the GOG thing. So, in theory, we shouldn't have to worry about things changing with GOG. It should all basically continue as it has been. It's hard to say. We'll only find out with time. But, you know, this could be... It could be a worse situation. It's not like Valve bought it or something like that. And also, in theory, it is remaining independent.
The Griffin. It's time we hung. Good. The time has come for you to prove yourself.
Although it will still sell CD Projekt Red games. Maybe their cut will be a little different, because, well, no, if they were smart, GOG would still be getting their cut off the CD Projekt Red games. Because you don't want to essentially subsidize CD Projekt Red by being like, oh yeah, we're not going to take any money to pay our employees on the side of the office. But then sometimes they do that. I mean, it's creative accounting. Not to suggest they were doing it, but it's like
you've been training with
Disney would basically write a check to themselves
to teach you.
They did this with Disney Plus, where they would take one of the movies that didn't do well in the theaters, and just be like, oh, well, you know, it'll go on Disney Plus, and then they have Disney Plus just write a check for however much for the rights to do that over to the film division, and it's like that. There's no greater money in the company. It's literally they're paying themselves, but it still appears on the books that the film made so much more money. Yeah.
Not bad. You've been practicing.
Alright. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's anything like that was, well, no, it wouldn't have been the case on CD Projekt Red and GOG. You'd think that they're not paying for the rights to, I don't know, but you would think that they wouldn't be paying rights to have something on the storefront that it's just you're getting a cut. They get a cut of however much money is,
Need to wait.
there. They just get a cut of the, money made from the sale. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see how that ends up going. Hopefully, it'll end up being kind of sort of nothing. It will also likely help, though, both companies to be independent like this, because that means they don't need to be as concerned about the interests of the other, so they can focus down. In fact, that in the FAQ section on the post, on the press release, it was even saying that, you know, why is CD Projekt Red doing this? Like, so we can focus on making games. Yeah, let's put that on. Yep. Can't use that. Okay. Go up this side. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Nothing really coming to mind. What do you expect? It's the week of New Year's. In the time between Christmas and New Year's, there's not much news.
You've never fought the likes of a griffin before. That if you are victorious, people will sing your legend.
I want to get all the experience I can.
Here we are, the hero. Careful. The priests of Mycenae protect their shrines, even beyond the grave.
Yeah, it won't be until I actually get the Forge Master that I'll have much to talk about. Which I do... I have positives and negatives to talk about with it. Once I have it so I can actually show you the abilities, it'll make sense.
Door's sealed. Give me a moment. Fight them off while I unseal this door.
Come on. There we go.
There. Through here.
Everything must be broken. Because you never know what you might find. Just remember, there was something I wanted to do and forgot. Oh well. Should be fine. Should be fine.
The ancient Mycenaeans called this the Shrine of Divine Mastery. Only those... You're the
You have been measured. Rise and accept your blessing.
So yeah, taking that. Wait. Why is it? Oh, it's only wanting me to do that. Yeah. That. Okay.
No. This shouldn't be happening. You saw how no matter. I have lost slave.
Okay. There. One there. One here because I really like the ailment cleanse on that. Alright. Back to here. Okay, and so. Oh, yeah. Do that. Okay. So, Forge. It is I'm legitimately liking it. It is a little odd though. And I do think that they have the order. Yes, you can see the cursor. The order of these, I think they need to shuffle. Because basically, you've got two things that it can mainly do. Summons, which are traps, like this. Also this that I'll talk about in a little bit. And also things like these that are, I think, actually improving your armor or your weapons, right? But that's the problem, is that all the armor, weapons, the gear improvement stuff is up here, and all the trap stuff is down here. So you will end up developing a trap-heavy way of playing as you're going. Then it's like, oh, now we get to this, and it's completely different. Because it's like, with this, toggle that on and starts using the divine cores per second, which you need. It's part of how you summon these. I mean, where's it actually? Yeah, 5 divine cores, 5. Oh, I didn't even know, so that one's free. Huh, maybe I should actually use that then. I don't. I haven't really tried it. And then that energy and divine cores. But then it's like this, and you only have 30 to start. I don't know if there's a way to actually increase that number. There, you can increase. There, it isn't. You can have a total of 30, but yeah. So that I do not think that they have this well laid out. I think they should take some of these, move them down here. This ability is, well, here. This is literally just you drop a trap, and the point I put in here is to increase the size of it. I'm not sure if it actually does appear that way, but if it is physically made larger, but it does, it is nice because you can drop that and it just wrecks. This thing can actually get really powerful. And I also found that this is really nice as well on the other character. I just put down 2 of those and they shred so much. The minefield is not that great, in my experience, because it's like you have to put it down and then the enemies have to walk into it, or you just summon it on top of the enemies, but it takes some time. It's like there's some cast time there, and it didn't feel like it was all that much damage. So yeah, I'm focusing on these 2. As I said, I haven't messed with chains. This just puts 3 or more projectiles that all they do is spin around you. That's it. It's basically just you have a damage aura, but they do eventually, they are eventually expended. So yeah, it doesn't. In theory, you can do some things to, like, make them stronger, or at least you can provide some benefit there. But it's like, I don't see it, but. But that is pretty nice. They only have so many activations. But if it sits there, the enemies sit there. It's nice. There is that issue, though, of the enemies sitting. Which is why one thing that I kind of meant to look into but forgot. The other mastery I intend to be Warfare. Which is very much melee focused, not how I prefer to play. But it gives armor and health regeneration. A lot. Because they're going to be coming to me. Like, the enemies, I haven't seen anything that makes a trap
I know I always
what they go to.
Quickly, things can change. Good.
They seem to just come to me. So, yeah. None of them have a taunt capability. So, yeah, it seems like it is only best for me to try to strengthen myself in that way. Which I don't like. I will say, I do not like that because it's just, why should I spec ranged at all? Because it's like, I have to put so many points. And well, it is a little bit of a criticism. But I'm not too negative on the whole. The traps are very powerful. It just feels like I have to then focus so much on that going to, I picked Storm for the other. Going to that doesn't feel worth it. Because I can't put enough points to make it worth it into the Storm abilities. Also, I did get really used to having this on the right click. So the one Storm ability that you can take as a basic, that I can't have there. So, yeah. I may still keep ranged so that I can at least taunt myself with, taunt the enemies myself, where I just, flick them with a bow or something so they're like, oh, I need to come investigate, and then they run into the traps. But yeah, so I'm not feeling the synergy how I'd like it to be for my preferred playstyle, but I also do know I tend to play very conservatively. Like, I prefer ranged where I'm just, they can't hit me. That's not how this will work, and hopefully that's okay. We'll see. But it is definitely these things you... It's like I've been... made sure that the blade traps and the... trying to... No, I think it is. I just down this way and loops back. But it is... They really, really are powerful. At least they were getting quite powerful for me. But see how they just all land to me? So it's like I need to now stand next to my own trap for it to be useful. Not so much the case with the sentry. With this. But it still is, yeah. Oh, I think, yeah, that's piercing damage. Is that also piercing? No, that just is damage, but this is piercing damage, and they do a fair amount. Yeah, I didn't think I had gone up here yet. Yeah, okay. Is there any... Yes, there is. I couldn't remember if there was anything over here or not. There is that, though.
This is the cave. Hope you're a better fighter than the last guy.
Now, there does not appear to be any time limit on them. It is just activations. So those two will stay there. If I just run back like this. Yeah, so they are nice.
Here, put me on the shrine. Go on.
Especially against groups of enemies, but even when I was
I suppose
fighting the Griffin,
now.
it still seemed
Now get out.
pretty damn effective.
Job is done.
I will grant, I do still look forward to them eventually adding something with actual pets, so they move.
You've had your fun. Let me out of this jar so I can rip your throat out. Please? Hermes.
Fitness.
Hermes.
Yeah, that's fine. They're both there. Oh, close that. This. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, there. Yeah. Do that. We do that. I will then start focusing on that. Now, there. No, just because I am curious. Do that. I can't tell if that actually, that doesn't look double the size that it's supposed to be. It does say it's bigger though, so there's that. Yeah, so because I want the bonus activations, although they don't appear anywhere, maximum activation's 6, but I'm supposed to have 15% more, which it isn't necessarily much. But still, because of that, I don't know. And also, interestingly, that stat doesn't appear anywhere else. In fact, I don't think any of the stats do. So yeah, they're gonna have to make some changes at some point. Wait, not that. But in none of these stats does it give anything on the summons. At least not that I found when I looked. So. That for now. Yeah, with that. There's one thing that does seem annoying. It doesn't tend... The Forge doesn't appear to have any preferred stats. So, yeah, we'll see how some of it works out. warfare does. It prefers might, so... I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe that's just coincidental. We'll see. You can increase the number of activations. It's just I like boosting the area most on these first because it, in theory, means more enemies can be impacted, and that's better for my survivability than just more activations. Come on. There we go. He's right over the house, so.
Patricus would have liked it.
I know it's a lot of silence, but I legitimately am trying to think, what all can I talk about? I mean, I guess one thing is, because I don't think my holidays are really all that interesting, but things have been going all right. I was able to finish, I think I had mentioned, I've been working on one project. Yeah, I even said earlier in the stream that one project that I've been working on for a month, I finally finished. Very happy about that. And once I finished that, then I could start doing other things, mainly just relaxing. I like movies. I have been, and I bought a number, and there's some where it's like, yeah, I know that's gonna take a while to get through regardless. Like when you buy a set, crap, how many movies are there? I don't even remember now. But I bought a set of the Abbott and Costello Universal films. So the films they did for Universal Studios, which includes Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein. That will just take a while to watch through because that's a lot of movies. But I think I paid less than $50 for that. It was at least, it wasn't more than $50. And that's a very good price for such a set. Because also very good movies, but anyway. I'm finally having the time to work through stuff I'd purchased. Oh yeah, Maltese Falcon, Singing in the Rain, Wait Until Dark, The Adventures of Robin Hood. What else have I watched recently? Throne of Blood. Although that was a little bit longer ago. That was I needed a break, so I'm gonna watch that. Not I actually have a break, so I'm watching stuff.
The Griffin! No! The village!
You're not a moment early. Where's Aristino? The Griffin's cult is attacking. Oh, they want gold again. Usurpers.
Yeah.
Nothing left of them.
The houses! There are people still trapped inside!
Zeus, Athena, Hera, have mercy!
take you!
There's that. But yeah, it has been quite enjoyable watching those, and I plan on today, because I still have Gaslight from 1940 and 1944, Best Years of Our Lives.
My father built this house.
What else? Also do have some others where it's that I'm not gonna watch my own.
Worshippers. Good
This is Spinal Tap and A Few Good Men, because they're both Rob Reiner films. And it's just haven't watched Spinal Tap for a while, but it's like, yeah, we'll watch it as a family. And A Few Good Men, I'm apparently the only one in the house that has seen that, so it's like, alright, price is low enough. I've seen it before. It wasn't, don't get me wrong, I recognize it is a good movie, but it wasn't exactly a, oh, I gotta have this. But with its death and the price was low enough, that was reasonable enough, that's like, yeah, alright. That's also why I ordered The Crow. That actually came just the other day. The original. Well, I think it's the original. The 94 one with Brandon Lee. Yes, it will be nice to just lean back and enjoy these movies.
That looks like everyone. Meet me in the center of the village. This is the third. Well, look who's grown. Not another attack. I'll protect the villagers. You take care of the cultists.
Yeah, see how effective these things can be when, you know, there's people staying at them.
Take it. Don't forget to destroy the griffin's nest too. We can't risk.
Griffin cult took.
Alright, that. I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do there. Okay. The strong start is also very nice. It's just not as impactful, I feel, on the blade traps. Well, that sucked. Because they just have such a lower activation number at the start. Oh, that is true. I actually should have done that. I'll change that. So this is... There's a 10% chance that the activation will be free instead, but it's like, well, this is just a straight 2. So... It's like, these, you know, pump up this and then pump up that will be more effective, but get this up and then strong start, 2% more damage per remaining activation. It's like that can be very nice. Are you starting to notice the problem? I don't do that much damage. And it's doing more than 18 damage. But yeah, it's just the traps end up becoming so strongly the source of damage that you really need to put a lot in there. Which I get, that's kind of the point of the mastery, but at the same time it gets annoying because, and this is why I'm going to pair it with Warfare, you have to be in the fight. You cannot just rest back and let these things take care of it, because the enemies come to you, they don't come to the traps. So it is a no. You have to be at least surviving. And that's why I want to pair this with warfare. I am also curious though, because I put points in here. Okay. See, it's also funny. Have increased summon health, but it's like none of them can be attacked. I do kind of wonder if anyone's actually pointed that out. Okay. So yeah, so this is suggesting that they will eventually have pets, because as I said, these don't have health. I wonder if we will see whatever the pet mastery. I wonder if we'll see that before long. It also just occurred to me, I wonder if they're going to start giving way to hide saves. Because you can't change a mastery after you've made it, but because they're adding masteries over time, it might be oh yeah, I don't want to do this guy anymore. Don't even put him in the, like, hide him in the list. Come on. There. Yeah, see how much more effective it is to just hang out? Yeah, it's also, to my knowledge, there's no way to inspect these to know how many activations are left on them. I mean, there are various quality of life things like that with the traps that is annoying, but it'll work out. I believe it's just, yeah, just a buff because I picked up a divine core. And the reason why I don't want to put points into that is it's actually not that hard to get full, and there's a limited number of summons for each of these devices at a single time. So if I put down, like for this it's 2. Actually, I think the sentry is also 2. It's just the candle. Well, no, it just is also 2. It just feels, because those things have range, they feel so much more powerful. Sorry, my brain is like partially turning off with this. Here. And you can increase the number of summons, but it just, you can keep putting them down, but they keep destroying, and it's just, I don't like the idea of getting rid of them before,
You have all room.
getting rid of them before they are spent. Though there is also a thing that they will like explode and do additional damage.
And you have been found worthy.
No, let me actually mess with it.
Come.
With this one? No. There is one that does... Okay, so that's why I can increase the number of them. Where is it? Ah, here it is. Yeah, based on remaining activations. So that would be you just are dropping them all out.
And receive your blessing.
Is there any... Oh, there is. Okay. I wasn't sure. Now, obviously, it won't be elemental, but still, this is... intake. And for an active point, sure. Throw it in here. Stick it on that.
Rise, twice blessed of the gods.
So where is it that warfare actually gets interesting for me? There's somewhere that it gives a lot of health regen. Ah, here it is. So that's going to be quite a while. So maybe I should actually look into some of these. But still, it's the passives are kind of the thing I know I want. Yeah, now true, I also haven't gotten too far into it with the other character I made, but it does just feel like, yeah, elemental infusion, that in theory that seems nice, but I don't know how actually impactful it'll end up being. Because they just seem so powerful to begin with. This is definitely turning out to be a boring first stream of the year, isn't it? Ah, well, that's okay. Well, first video, since these are all pre-recorded.
No room for that.
Really? I don't feel like running. I do figure I'm gonna just go and when I finish the Griffin. When I defeat the Griffin, you know, finish the tutorial, that's when I'm gonna stop. Which, beating the Griffin actually wasn't that bad before. Actually, no, I should have looked at that. Hey. Yeah, because it's likely better that. So, there. Alright. Yeah, I mean, the Griffin, I remember, I think every time previously was hard for me. And it wasn't easy. But, I mean, you just drop down a bunch of traps on it. And then you just don't. Should have just looked here. But they do really tear through it. Actually, hang on, that makes sense. So I think this is just those. I'm just actually looking. I don't think there's anything that's my brain just turned off a little bit. I don't think there's anything that states it'll help with the forge stuff. Fortunately, it is also, if I feel the need, it is also relatively cheap to respec. And that I did have to do that on the other guy. Specifically because I started putting points into, well, too many points into this. I completely took points out of this. This isn't bad, it's just, like, I don't... Well, maybe it'll end up being more useful. Because this guy is going to end up having to be fairly melee. So maybe I will find with it, with this character, that it'll be more worth it. Okay, when I level up, I'll put one. Well, yeah, I'll put 1 point in so you can see. takes 2 points. Yeah, we'll just do that. Alright, let's do that. Oh, sure, get that one. I have no idea how this will go, but it might. I could see it working nicely with the blade traps. Oh, yeah, let me hit that. They will just stay there until they are exhausted. This is actually nicer than I would have thought. I don't like you need to use the arrow keys to direct yourself, though. Oh, now it... I don't know why. It is awkward, though, trying to use that. Just because of having it on 5, because I'm going to put the sentries on 3. Actually, I should change those. There. Should also do this. I don't know, I could see if I put another point in there getting decent. I mean, that is not much damage. Do that because siphon, well, vitality damage does also apply lifesteal. So let's see how this goes. Actually, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I did know that. I guess I did know it was circular. It's the heavy attack that isn't. Get that, get the cores back. I don't feel like picking him up. Oh, no, there it is. Thought they disappeared on me.
Give that griff.
I've done that, but we'll use that. Oh, it did pop. I don't know why. I don't think they have time limits on them. Maybe they do. But I don't think so. I don't recall it ever being stated that they do. Yeah, may have just ended up being spent on something. Like it may have just hit something and that counted.
Well, if it isn't the hero of Proti Village. Come to bask in my presence, have you? Be warned, my servants were weak, but I am as terrible as I am beautiful!
Ow. Well, that sucks. Ow. Good thing I put up the shield when I did. Ah, man, it moved. Maybe they do have help. It seemed like it just destroyed them. It's just, it doesn't state that they have help anywhere. Traps did the majority of that. Because it's kind of nice, so long as they don't move too much. You basically just put it down and it just keeps smacking the thing. It's almost like passive damage. Back there. And yeah, this will be so nice. It really will be, I promise. Oh, yes, let's look at this stuff. Kind of doubting these are going to be, maybe those are going to be interesting. Well, actually, no, I take it back. That will be. It's fitness. Just do that. Boom. And I think spears are actually one-handed. Nope, they're not. Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes. That's also true. This is not necessarily a great idea, but I'm still going to do it. Wrong way.
Run as far as you like. I will always pursue. The fates have cursed us both. I am showing you mercy. What will you do when she's no longer there to protect you?
Never you mind. Never you mind.
It's my fault she found you. When you used the mastery shrines, it must have alerted her to your presence. I bought her some time, but we need to move.
Unfortunately, these things move around enough that it's not super helpful. The trap's not super helpful here. But that attack actually is nice against them, so there's that.
Now you know. That was the goddess Nemesis. The truth is, she's wanted to destroy you since you were a baby. Priestess, when she demanded I bring you to her for punishment.
Come over here. Oh.
It was madness. I couldn't do it. What could an infant do to deserve eternal punishment?
Yeah. Just about the end.
As long as you're on this island, Nemesis is a threat to everyone here. We need to leave. We need to sail for Pier. Nemesis here. Wear this. My horse. Go!
Alright. I just wanted to do that a little bit so I know this is activated. Alright, yeah, go back to the main menu. That'll be it. Especially since it's been over an hour now. Yeah, it Forge opens up once you get that second tier to it, which I have unlocked. I just don't have any active points to put in there. But no, because the sentries are really nice, because you can throw those down, and they got a decent range on them, and just pick things off, and do a fair amount of damage. Now, some of that might also be because I am... It's like, I already have enough points, and I have decent gear, but I mean, this guy will get decent gear as I continue playing. But, yeah, it just... The elemental infusion stuff, I'm not quite seeing... Because as I said, I'm having to put so many points into traps to be useful, that the other, that's like the stuff I would get out of Storm, because I haven't tried it with Earth. But to get enough out of Storm, it's like, why? I would need to put so many points there that then the traps aren't useful. So it's yeah, I'm not liking the balance there. It does seem like for traps to be good, And this is very early on, remember. So it's like, maybe it'll be different later on, as I get more points and can more freely put stuff places. But right now it does feel like I need to focus so much on traps. Everything else, it's just going to be for passes. That'll be it. I mean, yes, I put the 1 point in the active there, so I have a little bit more damage, but I can't even build up the character for damage. That's why I went to Warfare. So in theory, I can build up defense there. So he can be tanky while the traps deal with everything. But yeah, it's... I get the idea, but I do feel that they need to make some tweaks, such as I said before, shuffling up the order that you get some of the abilities in. And probably also buffing the traps so that you don't feel the need to put as many points in there, and so you can start putting them in other places. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's been long enough since this was added that I doubt we're going to see too many changes right away. We shall see. But also, as I was also saying, I do wonder about when we're going to see pets as summons. Because summon health. And it is weird that suddenly that I just randomly saw 2 traps disappear. That the griffin seemed to have attacked them successfully. But it's like, they've never been targeted by any other enemy. So it could have just been coincidence, or maybe it is 8. They do have a health, and because it was an attack that just happened to pass through them and deal damage, that was it. I don't know. I do not know. But hopefully we will get pets, because I am curious about with that as well. The pets that you could get in the first game were, depending, pretty powerful. I do remember seeing one thing though that was always funny to me. When the builds people wrote up, pet build for Titan Quest 1, talked about how, the wolves are for the nature mastery. Yes, these are going to be your main damage deal. It's like, no, they're not. They're not at all. Maybe if you get absolutely the perfect gear to get those things as powerful as possible, but they're not that powerful. I was always having to just do the bulk of the damage myself. I mean, the pets was still very useful because they helped with managing groups, but no. They were the blade trap here and the sentry trap when I get to it. They are far more powerful than the wolves were in that. I think only the Dream. I think it was Dream had there was some pets, very few though, that I can remember in Titan Quest 1 that actually were decent at dealing damage. Otherwise, they were just bullet sponges, which are fine. Nothing wrong with being a damage sponge, and it can be very useful in there. But no, here it seems these are actually... You can have them legitimately do the bulk of your damage. And I do appreciate that. Alright. I hope everyone's new year started off very well, and I shall see you next time.